All right. Morning. It is morning today. Tuesday, actually, we figured out. We wanted to stay in bed because it's so comfy and we have our blanket to snuggle and fiddle with and, just lay there and just lay there and do nothing because we have no idea what to do or what we want to do or what we need to do. There's just it's chaos right now. But my kitty cats, Kit Kat and Tic Tac, kept running up and like meowing, and I guess they kind of like woke me up like, "Hello, Mom, it's time to wake up, play with us." So we were laying there, and we were like all talking to ourselves, like, what are we gonna do whenever we get up? Like, we have clothes that we need to hang up, we have dishes that we need to wash. We don't feel like doing any of it. And then it was like, we gotta get up and we gotta like brush our teeth, and take care of ourselves. So Samantha actually helped with that. She was like screaming from way in the back, like, just get up already and go brush your teeth. That'll at least make you wake up. So I got up, put my sweatshirt on because it's always cold whenever I first wake up from my house, and my pajama pants, and went and brushed my teeth. And while I was in there, we left like all of our medicine there, so we were like, perfect, we're in the bathroom, we brushed our teeth, now we're gonna take our medicine, because honestly we didn't want to do that either, because that's just like another fucking thing that we have to do, is like, take our medicine, and it's just, and we have to do it every day, and it's like, what the fuck, why can't we do this without medicine? Why do we need medicine? Like, I don't even know. Why else did I come on here? What did I want to say? What did we want to say? Who am I right now? Well, see, it's like me, Skylar, I've got the British accent. When Zyla is more talking, that's more like the normal voice, like Lex from, childhood. Zyla could represent her the best. And then whenever Riker is close, Skylar's voice will get like a little bit deeper, and I guess kind of like say words different. Whenever Riker is close with Zyla, it's like, the normal talk, just a little bit different and weird also. If that explains anything to anybody, I don't know. So I have my notebook down to remind myself of why we wanted and what we wanted to talk about this morning. By the way, we've got like 3 tea bags in this size cup, so I don't know if that's like too much tea or not, but they all contain caffeine, so hopefully that will give us some kind of energy. So we just had 2 hurricanes. We had Hurricane Laura first, and then we had Hurricane Delta. So Hurricane Laura, I'm not big on social media. I don't have a TV, so I don't have news. I don't know what's going on in the world. I didn't even know about the COVID virus. That's a whole nother story. That is just, Hurricane Laura. So I didn't know about it. I don't listen to the radio either. I only listen to the music that I buy and purchase and have on my phone. None of the body's family called me because they either don't believe in DID or don't want to believe it or don't think it's safe. I don't know. The only person who I love and I've been able to talk about things and open up to is my mama. My mama Helen. I love you. Love you. So she called and was like, "Hey Lex, what are you gonna do about the hurricane that's coming?" And I was like, "What hurricane?" She kind of laughed and she was like, "Lex, there's a hurricane fixing to hit, like, today or tomorrow. What are you going to do?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I didn't even know there was a hurricane." And she was like, laughing, "Oh my God, how do you not know that?" And everything, you know. Shit balls. So she was like, you know, "Well, come in here, stay with us, and if we have to evacuate our home, you'll just come with us, you know, and help us out. They're a little bit elderly." And so I was like, "Yeah, of course, I could do that." I was packing all my stuff, and I was at first super scared to like bring all my witchy stuff, like my crystals and my wand and my crystals wand. What else did I have? Like my skull to represent our skull system, and like my little altar cloths. That's what they're called. Yes. So while we were there, we actually did pull out our crystals and did our tarot, and, you know, our grandmother didn't say anything about that, so we were very excited. And it was one day, we were so stressful from being there because it's like we weren't in our home, we couldn't do and act as much tarot-y and witchy as we usually do, like, at home. And we were trying to stay communicating with them a little bit, but still just trying to be with us. And it was just a bad head space for us. So we sat down one day and we were all talking, and we were like, how would we explain DID to someone who doesn't know, you know, anything about it or how it works? And then to how would we explain it to our family to where they would understand? So it was like all of these different scenarios and stories were going through our head. They were all like spitting off all this stuff. And then it was like, I was an aide in a pre-K class at one point. It was like a few years ago, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. So like my littles started popping out and telling me like a good way to describe DID is the rainbow, because there's one rainbow, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, one rainbow, but 7 colors. So hopefully you can follow along with this. My littles helped me get some parts out, and then like more of the adults and like, you know, the teachers in us were helping me write it all down. So here it goes. I would even begin to try to explain DID to someone, ? Obviously, I already forgot to put the word how in front of it. So, how I would even begin to try to explain DID to someone, ? Already made a mistake. Continues. There are so many examples flooding in right now that I can't possibly write them all down in this moment. And this is Jensen Cole, because she's the writer. We tell her everything that we want to write. So I'm going to use an art student learning the colors of the rainbow. The teacher prints out arches that are each numbered 1 to 7. The teacher also clears the room and leaves 7 desks scattered with each color numbered 1 to 7 to correlate with her printout. She instructs her students to go to each desk and paint the color that matches the number, and when finished, to go to the designated area, look at their creation, and choose which color was their favorite to paint. Apparently I realized that I'm like a slurper, and I don't mean to. I don't know how to not slurp. It's weird. Okay, to continue. She explains to them that they just created a beautiful art masterpiece of the rainbow that they've been learning about in science. The rainbow they learned how to spell. The rainbow they counted in math, for the 7. And the colors they are learning by painting it. DID is explained as a rainbow. One thing is made of 7 colors and spelled with 7 letters, which we thought was cool. So there's 3. There's one rainbow, the 7 colors that make it up, and the 7 letters that spell the rainbow. So one DID system is made of a number of parts, alters, identities that are all kinds of colors, all have names that are spelt. 7 colors equals 1 rainbow. Many parts equals 1 system. And then it says, written by Hotspot System on 9/4/20 Friday at malls during Hurricane Laura. And I think at some point after we wrote it, we took a picture of it and then posted what we wrote on Tumblr, and we might have shared it on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter to go to the links. I don't remember if we did that, but I know we did it on Tumblr because that's where you can post a lot. So hopefully that helps someone, even on a child level, understand what DID is. There's so much more that I want to be able to tell you. That is going on and what has happened. Right before we knew we had DID. But we can't say too much because we're still in it. It hasn't reached the point to where it hasn't reached the meeting point of where we'll be able to tell you all of it and the whole story that's going on right now in our lives. That's actually been, in December it will be a year. It's October. October is big for us. In a few weeks it's going to be a big day, and we'll hopefully that we'll be able to be there. And then this December 12th and 13th, those 2 days kind of put together because it's a blur, marks the whole year. I don't like to cry because it looks horrible when I cry, and it's just like sobbing and wailing and, well, if anybody's experienced panic attacks or they're scared and they're crying, uncontrollably, you just look awful. But so to go back to a little bit, COVID, we didn't know there was COVID virus going around. We're at work one day, and when a lot of alters were coming out, and like we were struggling at work big time trying to keep them back and to stay like who they knew and trying to stay and not be the rest of ourselves. Which a few things had happened at work. Like apparently we would wake up late because we were exhausted trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with us. Are we crazy? Are we insane? We don't know. What is this? Why do I hear these voices in my head telling me what to do? And sometimes I am watching myself do these things and I don't know why, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I've realized it's because it's not me, it's somebody else. So we would like call and say that we were running late and we're on our way, and then somebody else took over and we like just wouldn't show up. I don't know. We had a key to be able to get into the store to open. It's a salon, by the way. Zyla was working there, and Zyla also hated it because she still had to go by the birth name, Lex. So it was really hard. But somebody had a key to the store and misplaced it. They put it somewhere that we cannot find, and they won't tell us where it is. Like, I don't know if they threw it in the trash can, but we have like cleaned like storage little boxes, like those cute little colored boxes that go into the little square holes, it's cute and like decoration, hold shit. We thought we put it in there, but it's not there. We cleaned that out. I've looked everywhere in my closet and all my drawers. The key is not there. So we had to tell them that we lost the key. So all these things were leading up. And then apparently V came out one day and, well, V, what did you do? How did you do it? Oh, V called to talk to somebody one day. I don't know who it was that she talked to. But she said, she's telling me this, she said this. Oh, fuck, well, what did you say? How did it start out? something like, I'm trying to get to like how the phone call started and I don't remember. Something like, oh, thank you, V, that's what she did. Okay, so she was like, hello, this is Ivy. I know Alexis works there, but she's not coming in today. I'm Ivy, and we're not going to work today. And that's just like what she said, and then I don't remember what else happened on the phone call, and she's not telling me what else happened. That was just like what she said, and then I don't know, we hung up, and then I don't know, we went somewhere and we didn't go to work. So around all this time was the COVID virus was already out there and we didn't know about it. So we eventually go back to work one day, and it's our store manager and then our district manager from another store from Lafayette to come help out because things, had just been insane with everybody there. And, we're all like talking to our clients and stuff, and they start talking about this COVID virus, and then the district manager is like, yeah, we might have to shut down and be closed tomorrow because of the COVID virus. And I like was in the middle of a client, and I like turned around, and I was like, wait, what? We're going to be shut down because of a virus? What's going on? And they were like, Lex, you don't know that there's like this virus that is affecting the whole world and we're going to have to shut down? And I was like, no, I didn't know about any of this. And so that was that in that moment. After all of the clients left and it was empty in the store, now Lex is there, but knowing that Zyla is present because she's the hairstylist, not knowing what DID was, just us thinking that we had names in our head and that we had these voices from them and these thoughts from them and these feelings, and we didn't know we had DID. So our manager of our store is sitting in one chair and the district manager is over here, and they sit down with me and they're like, we need to talk to you. And I'm like, already shit. Like, Lex is like, what the fuck? Goes back to childhood trauma. I'm in trouble again for something. I don't know what I'm getting in trouble at. I'm freaking out. And one of them goes, Lex, who's Ivy? And I like kind of froze for a second. And I don't know, I think I just like froze and was probably dissociating because I didn't know what the fuck to do. And they go, Lex, like, look at us, like, who's Ivy? And I was like, well, I don't know who Ivy is. She was like, well, because Ivy called the other day and said that you, Lex, that said that she was Ivy and that you, Lex, weren't going into work today. And then it kind of hit me and I started crying, and I started crying and I was like, well, I have a notebook at home that says Ivy on it. It was like Ivy's notebook. And they go, well, we think you need help. You need to go see a doctor. And as of today, we recommend you to go on a leave to figure this out. So I was like, hey, that sounds fucking great. I'll go on a leave and get this shit figured out. Sure, no problem. So we decided, that day was going to be the last day. Well, then it turns out the very next day, nobody could go back to work. Like, that day was everybody's last day of work, and everything, shut down. Thankfully, our boss, who, owns the salons and owns the different ones, still allowed me and accepted me for unemployment. So thank you, God, thank you, Set, thank you, Hecate, thank you, universe, for unemployment. Then we're at home alone with nothing to do because of the virus. We can't go anywhere. And our parts in here it's getting worse. It's making it horrible. It's making it more worse. I have another story in December last December that makes it a year before this December, but this moment, this story, happened in April, that we were found in a parking lot of a church. So this is Zyla. Zyla is the, kind of took over for Lex, because Lex, Lex has DID and can't handle in all these spots. So Zyla is out, and Zyla had been out for a while during high school. We grew up Christian, Jesus, everything like that. And Zyla is really getting into the Bible to figure out what the fuck is going on in her head. She's writing to Jesus all of this stuff. And if you were to look at this Bible, I mean, it's highlighted, it's written on this, it's questions written on the sides, everything. So I guess this is in April was all of our parts freaking out, and the one place we need to go to was a church. So we go to this church, we park there, we put on our flashes for some reason. Don't know why we did that or who pushed that. And we're walking around talking to Jesus. We're looking at where we're at so that we can remember where we were at, because we didn't know where we were. We just were driving somewhere, saw this church and pulled in and was yes, okay, now it's time to stop and get this out. And they had a little bench, and we went and sat on it. And again, Zyla was just talking to Jesus, a best friend, a person, what's going on and all of this. And I don't even remember what happened. So then Zyla got that conversation out, felt a little bit better, went to the car, turned off the flashes because we were fixing to get ready to leave. And I don't know how long more we were there and what we were doing in our car, but a cop pulled up and was hey, I passed by earlier on my way to a call, and I saw you were sitting here with your flashes on, and now they're off, but you're still sitting here. Are you okay? And it was at this point, we were so dissociated. You know, like I said, we didn't know what we were doing sitting in our, like, we were sitting in our car not knowing what to do. So I think it was like littles coming out, and they were, you know, panicking because they didn't know anything. And I barely even remember. I barely remember what happened, but it's something like he's asking us questions, and we're trying to answer them, but we're doing like this, and we're like, wait, I don't understand your question. Wait, what did you just say? And then at some point he calls for like backup. I think there ends up being like 4 more police cars there, and I'm trying to ask their names so I can remember who they are, because they're like asking me my name, and I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, what's your name? Your name is this? Okay, I think I can remember that. And then eventually, after talking to a few cops about something, I don't know, you know, an ambulance shows up, and they've got like both my car doors open. You know, they were like, you know, can we search your car, your purse? And I was like, sure, because they were like, we need to find your ID. And I think I just sat there and was like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And so they found my purse, they found my purse, found my ID and everything. And I think they showed it to me or said my name or something. And I started bawling and crying and was like, no, 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 that's not me. I don't like that name. We hate that name. We don't like, I don't want to be that. Like, I'm not that. Like, it was like, no, we hate that. We just hate it. So at some point, another cop asked us, like, if we had a doctor or if there was someone that we could call. And I was like, no, we can't call anybody. We've already tried reaching out to our friends. They didn't answer us. And they were like, well, yeah, they didn't answer you. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, really? And then they were like, you know, can we call family? And I started bawling and crying again, like, no, you can't call family. I don't want to see them. They don't understand. And then it was like somebody popped in my head and remembered a doctor, psychologist / person who oversees, who's the director of an institution. And like when he asked like who we can call, it was like, I don't know, we were crying. And then it was like, okay, hold on, I have to fix my chair because I have to demonstrate this. Like, we were in a car and I was like, oh yeah, there is somebody. It's in the contacts of my phone under Danny Architute. Oh, Danny over the Archer Institute. The Archer Institute. Like, literally in my phone, I had it, had saved it as Danny Archer Institute, because we hate C's. And CH's, you know, pretty much always come together. So it was like how, this is just clicking now, how we would remember Archer Institute was the Archer Institute. So they somehow get that. Apparently, I don't know, call the institute, whatever, see if they had an intake, and we were put in the ambulance. totally scared, freaking out, and we were like, please don't stick us with a needle and like draw blood, because we'll pass out. Like, I don't have any piercings. We have no piercings because we either have seizures or we pass out and throw up. Like, please don't do that. And so they were like, okay, we have to at least get something. We're just going to prick your finger. And again, there comes a little freaking out, like our hands are shaking, and we're like, I'm remembering, we're like, no, please don't prick our finger. We're crying and he's doing it and we're closing our eyes. And I remember being little and we were just crying, and as he was doing it, we just cringed like this. And so he did it and he was like, all right, it's okay, everything's over. And like, someone's telling me now that we kept asking them if we could trust them and like who their names were so that we could try to remember and talk to them. And that guy who pricked our finger was like, it's okay, we're done now. That's all we needed. It's fine, you're safe. And then we're in the ambulance and they're trying to talk to us. And I have no clue. I don't know what we said. I don't know what they asked us. I don't know anything. Somehow we end up in a hospital, and I don't know, they're trying to talk to us and ask us questions and whatever. I don't even know. Ace is an altar that came out also when we found tarot, because we were getting Ace cards a lot. So we literally took that name Ace, and it was an altar for us. I do remember this. So one guy, I think, said something like, well, your name is this, and we again were like freaking out, and we were like, no, we hate that name. We want that to be dead, not exist. No, we can't be that. And he goes, okay, so what do you want us to call you? And I thought about it, I guess, for a minute, and Ace popped up, and I was like, oh, Ace. And he was like, Ace? Trying to get more out, like, what does that mean? And kind of our sarcasm came out, and we were like, Ace. Ace is the place, what's the little tune for it? Ace is a place of the hardware store, or Ace is a place where you get things out. Whatever the saying, the little song is, we love it, and that's also where we got Ace from. Ace is a place of the help for hardware store. Oh God! I think that was it! Yes! So we said that, and he kind of chuckled, and we go, oh, we like you, you got that, you understood that. And that. So then I guess they brought us to a room, and they started like, oh, I just remembered, we had everything, like we had packed our wallet and everything before, but we put it in a kid bag, in a child's bag. So already there were littles coming through. And these two women nurses are there, taking everything out, going through it, logging everything, documenting everything, and they're like, what are these rocks? And I was like, oh, they're crystals. They, help with strength or calmness or whatever. And they went to touch it, and they were just like putting it down like they had nothing wanted to do with it. And then I don't remember really those two because they were mean and not caring and rude, and I think that's whenever Rika and Jack were popping out and they were like being mean and sarcastic, like right back, like. But like I said, I don't remember like what happened. So then after all of this, they tell us that they want to give us a shot. We are freaking out. We hate shots. We haven't gotten shots since, like you're in grade school and you have to get them for immunization and everything. When we turned 18 and we were able to do what we wanted to do, no more doctors, no medicine, we cut it out, no shots, fuck that, nothing. So something we were like freaking out about the shot, and they were like, we have to give this to you. Like, we have to, it will calm you down. We have to give it to you. So somehow they gave us the shot, and then poop, we are knocked the fuck out. Like, knocked out. And then somehow we get transported to the institute. I'm still out of it, but I remember like being wheeled in a wheelchair somewhere, and then I'm like really out of it. I guess I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I was in a room, in a bed, and in the institution. And the whole time we were in there is very fuzzy as well. So the first few days, because of that shot that knocked us out, like, had us really disoriented, and we were in a place we didn't know what to expect. So we don't even remember those first few days. So in April was when we went in the hospital. We were there for 11 days, and that is when we got diagnosed with DID. There's so much more that I could go in and keep sharing with you all about that, but I know this has been a forever long video. So this started off, with a story of how to explain DID to someone in hopefully the simplest form, and then it went on to emotions coming out and a rant and telling you about how we ended up in the hospital and got diagnosed with DID. So this is very recent to all of us, so we're trying to figure it out. We still have no job. One, because the hurricanes tore pretty much everything up. Like, it's horrible down here. Thank you that we have power now again. And honestly, we can't go back to work right now because we don't know if we should tell, like, in an interview. I don't have hair on this side. We don't know if we should tell, like, when we go to an interview that we have this to prepare them for it, or lie and try to keep our alters in control while we're there. We don't even know if we can handle people right now being, in a place working with people. We can barely go to the grocery store. Like, right now, when we woke up this morning and we were laying in bed, like, needing to get out, we were like, I'm not even hungry. But then they were like, but you need to eat. And I was like, but I don't feel like cooking. But you need to cook so you can eat. But I don't want to do that because then I have to wash the dishes. They were like, well, you have to eat so that you can be fed, and all of the rest of us can survive too, because we're in your fucking body. So that's when Samantha was like screaming at us, like, just get out of bed, go brush your teeth, and just start your day. Okay, so we did, and that's whenever we found our medicine, and we wanted to talk about DID, I guess. So today we are going to try to pull it together to get some energy to do something. Hopefully we can wash the dishes. Hopefully we can hang up our clothes. Somebody who is in charge of that, make us, the body, do it. So, I don't know. I mean, hopefully this was fun, and also you cried through it with us. I don't know. Hopefully it wasn't too much. It's just us talking to myself while I was talking to you, so talking to the camera now to all of you on the other side. Yeah, that's just a little bit of our story. We want to go back to work. We need to go back to work because we need income. When we're not used to working, we're used to just doing it, but it's just too overwhelming right now. We can't, and we don't know what to do. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, like, so many of these YouTubers on YouTube are like, subscribe, hit the bell, so you know every time our video comes out. We're like, look, we don't care how many fucking subscribers we have. If this is just for us, and we go back and rewatch our videos all the time, to see our differences and to remember those moments, you know, and if somebody comes across and finds our videos and it helps them, then of course that's great and wonderful, and we want that. But like, we're not in it for the subscribers, and then people are like, we have a Patreon and go here and donate money to us, and we're like, we're in a horrible situation right now. Like, thank God we live in low income housing, you know, so we can afford that. When we were working and getting extra money, we were always responsible of paying extra on our bills, so we know that our bills are covered for a while. One thing we worry about most is our car note, because it's the first time in our life that we actually got to purchase a car on our own. The body is 30. It was the first car that we've ever had to purchase on our own and have a car note on it. So we're very excited about that. We really want to keep it. We're afraid we're going to lose it because we can't afford the payment on the car. But anyway, but yeah, that's where we were going. Like, people have like Patreons and stuff for that. So we want to say we're not on here for fame or to do this and, you know, have a Patreon set up and get money and everything. But then there's another part of us that is like so humble that there have been several channels that we have wanted to support, but we don't have the money for it, so we don't. And I'm shaking right now even about to say this, because I don't know if I can. Like, we don't like to ask for help, but if there are people out there who do see this and want to help. Maybe we should set up a Patreon. I don't know. We already have a Cash App, and that's just for us, because like our friends were like, yeah, get a Cash App, we'll use it for everything, we can just in exchange money. And so we were like, okay, cool, whatever, we'll get that. But just if you're kind and loving and you want to help us out, get in touch with us some kind of way. And I mean, we're going to be honest with you and tell you exactly what we spent that money on that you gave us. And we also know that you giving kindly and sweetly from your heart, that blessing to us will definitely be returned in a blessing to you. And that just makes us so sad right now that we even have to like say that and ask that. Also, if you or any of you have any like job suggestions to do until either Zyla can go back to working at a hairstyle, or until we can handle people, or until we figure out something. I don't even know what the fuck we're trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure all this out. If you have job suggestions, that will help as well. So from the Star Mother, a card that we got last night, she loves you, she loves us. So I love you, Star Mother, for coming to you and be able to talk to you. And I love all of you who end up watching this, and if you watch it all the way through, can deal with all of us and all of our different parts. We're a lot to handle. So we love you. Peace out. Sure, we'll see you later. Hopefully, if we get stuff done today, we can do another video and be like, hey, we did it today, yay. So that's great. All right, peace out, hotspot system, we love you.